we've been talking about workflows a little bit from our perspective. I'd love to show you a video, Kai, of our contributors talking about what they think about workflows and what their mental models are around those. So let's give that a watch.
How has the pandemic and remote work changed how we work with your peers? Well, it has changed quite a lot. To start with, we used to work in the office, and at the moment, I go to the office once in a week, and it has had a great effect on us, to be honest. We are more productive, we are able to save a lot of time.
It definitely has changed a lot. We're definitely communicating more online. We're trying to find different tools to communicate better, have meetings more often. We're constantly trying to find things that work best for us.
I definitely do more online collaboration now with different apps like Slack or, Figma. Tools like Trello or Jira are really helpful.
Sometimes you need like a lot of different platforms or apps to be able to complete one kind of work. So sometimes that leads to errors. Maybe you're communicating through an app, then you have to communicate through another app, and maybe you lose part of essential communication, like a message that your coworker sent you, and you missed it because you thought it was in the other app, for example, and that was like a crucial piece of information for you to work with.
In a smooth integrate between the apps, platforms, or tools with the workflow of an employee is very important, because when people try to handle a difficult task, for example, if he or she wants to handle a task in a different app and that app is not integrated well in the workflow, the level of anger would be increased. And it is a normal react from an employee, from a person. And I think, the result is often include more errors, more anger, more stress.
It takes more time to sort out in different ways or just wait for it. And therefore, you need to push back things or you need to overwork. So at the end of the day, you are not happy with anything at all.
It was just so confusing trying to use that synchronously across different devices because we didn't all have the same subscription, or something just didn't work, didn't have it downloaded on the right spot, which is ridiculous. So we ended up using a different platform, for example, Figma, that was easier to work with because it just kind of reduced the number of problems and let us just actually focus on work versus wasting time on random errors.
Being able to focus on work instead of the technology. What a novel idea. It's really interesting, though, hearing from people and talking about essentially these technologies have to fit into the way I work, not the other way around. I'm not going to adapt to the way these technologies work. It's fascinating. What are your thoughts on this feedback, Kai?
Well, it's kind of interesting how they're talking about doing more things online now. I think for us, we always had quite a distributed organization here at User Testing, so we always did a lot of online collaboration. So the pandemic wasn't a big change for us. What really changed had a bigger impact was our global expansion, when we started working across many time zones outside of just of North America, and how we started relying more on asynchronous collaboration models, and that's where kind of all these workflow tools and knowledge management becomes so much more important, because I can't just walk around the office and ask my colleagues, and I cannot just even pick up the phone and call them because they may be at the pub by now. So it's that has changed a lot. And I think, to Andy's earlier point, we don't just adopt these tools to maintain the way we work. I think we all want to learn from them. And this one lady was speaking of Figma. I think one thing Figma introduced was more collaboration than anybody ever had before. So I think it's a little naive, this talk of, I just want the software to conform to my way of working, I'm not going to change. I think that's very naive, actually. I think in reality, we adopt these products because they help us work in better ways. And needless to say, if I look at how we use our own product, user testing here, that's not just to keep doing what we did before. It is to add to it, to the things that user testing brings, the real feedback from our real users. That's something we largely didn't have before. So like we've implemented this piece of software to work in new ways, to get better, not to keep doing what we did before. So I think this is a little, people like to say that I'm not going to conform to the software should conform to me. But I think that's also a way to say no to a lot of value that the software brings.